from Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 in all the Filipino shows in the Midwest. And I'm Mauricio. Today we have all the top stories from Chicago and the Philippines. We also have our segment host, Veronica, interesting interviews with Melody Rabor Dizon, our Health Matters host, and Mauricio, myself. And I would like to introduce to you Janette Jordee, our new host from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, introducing her Global Inspirations interviews. We also have happening within our own Filipino community here in Chicago. All these are coming up and more from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Maria Pappas, Cook County Treasurer. Property taxes are due March 2nd, but there's no late fee through May 3rd. Go to cookcountytreasurer.com, put in your street address to pay online, search for $76 million in double payments and $46 million in missing exemptions. See if your property is on the tax sale delinquency list. Put in your address at cookcountytreasurer.com.
The Philippines records more than 3,000 new COVID-19 infections Friday, the highest number logged in 5 months. These include cases of the South Africa and UK variants.
Nakapagtala po ng 52 additional B.1.1.351 variant. Ito yung kinilala bilang South African variant. Meron tayong pong 31 additional B.1.1.7 variant, ito naman yung UK variant. And 42 additional cases with mutations of potential clinical significance doon po sa pang-siyam na batch of 350 samples na sinequence po ng ating UP Philippine Genome Center.
Of the 42 new samples found to have mutations of potential clinical significance, 34 have addresses in Region 7, 6 in the Capital Region, while 2 are still being verified whether they are local cases or returning overseas Filipinos. All remain active cases except for 22 in Region 7. Meanwhile, 28 cases detected with the UK variant have indicated cases in the NCR, while 8 are still being verified. All of them are still active cases. Of the 52 newly detected South Africa variant cases, 41 have indicated addresses in the NCR. 11 are still being verified whether they're locals or returning Filipino workers. All but 1 in the NCR continue to be an active case. The Philippine Health Department has yet to confirm whether there is already a local transmission of the variant. But the Octo Research Group says even without this information, it isn't impossible that the reason behind the spike in cases in several areas are the new variants of the virus.
What we do have is a hypothesis that maybe one of these variants is driving the rise in certain areas. And because there might be that possibility, all hands on deck. That's the position Octa is trying to say. We are in a situation of concern and urgency.
The Octa Group pinpointed a village in Pasay City where the number of cases soared in just a week.
It's in the Baclaran area. They had 128 cases over the past week, which translates to 17 cases, actually 18 cases per day, 17 to 18 cases per day in that barangay alone. And that is a higher number compared to Pateros, San Juan, and Muntinlupa.
Health Secretary Francisco Duque says the spike in cases can be attributed to the loosening of quarantine restrictions.
Ang nakikita natin dahilan na may mga ganitong pagtaas itong mga nakaraan araw, ay dahil yung increased mobility ng mga tao. We'll have to observe, what will happen in the next few days if makita natin na patuloy na mataas pa rin ang bilang, we can regroup and IATF can be considered.
Government officials and experts are one in reminding the public that in order to fight off the virus, wearing face masks, face shields, and maintaining physical distance must be strictly observed. For health workers, they say only one thing: get vaccinated.
More medical workers are willing to be inoculated with Chinese firm Sinovac's vaccine, CoronaVac. Several hospitals received additional doses, while others have requested for more vaccines after their initial supplies were consumed. At the Dr. Jose Rodriguez Memorial Hospital in Caloocan City, at least one hospital worker who is a senior citizen also agreed to be inoculated after signing a waiver. In Makati City, the number of healthcare workers willing to be inoculated exceeded the number of doses initially allocated for them. Testing Czar Secretary Vince Dizon assured the local government they will receive additional doses for their medical frontliners.
Kung ano man yung matitira, kung ano man yung bakuna na available doon, tatanggapin ko. Pero hindi para mauna ako because may mas prioridad kaysa sa akin.
But in Marikina City, the local government recorded a low vaccine turnout among healthcare workers. Marikina Mayor Marcelino Teodoro appealed to the Department of Health and the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group to consider expanding the vaccine coverage to include economic frontliners.
May mga gusto magpabakuna, incidentally, wala sila doon sa healthcare worker category. Halimbawa, yung mga nasa economic frontline, yung mga economic frontliners natin, may mga manggagawa kami sa dalawang manufacturing plant dito sa Marikina na gusto na magpabakuna. Nagbigay na sila ng consent form. Meron din tayong mga drivers na gusto magpabakuna. Nagbigay na rin sila ng consent form. Maring yung ibang healthcare workers ay ayaw pa, pero merong mga individual na galing naman sa ibang sektor na gustong magpabakuna na. Kung maaari ay mai-consider na at maisaalang-alang na para sa ganun makadami tayong nababakunahan.
Inoculations are also underway in Davao City, Naga City, Cotabato City, and Baguio City. In Marinduque, the provincial government, which received 600 CoronaVac doses, assured healthcare workers of its support should they experience side effects from the vaccine.
Frontline health workers in the Philippines now have another vaccine option against COVID-19. Around 500,000 doses of the vaccine arrived Thursday from the World Health Organization's COVAX facility. AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine has an overall efficacy rate of 70% after the first dose, which can increase with a second dose according to the FDA. It recommends a 4 to 12-week interval between the two shots. AstraZeneca's COVID jabs work against the UK variant, but a study shows its efficacy decreases against the South African variant for mild and moderate COVID cases. Still, an infectious disease expert and the Octa Research Group believes AstraZeneca's vaccines should not be put to waste.
Nobody did develop a severe COVID even with that South African variant. So looking at immunological insights, there is still protection.
This was just one study. And so, as you know, in science, we usually collect several studies and we validate previous results with succeeding results. That is the way of science. So, of course, limited studies may have some value, but they are subject to change.
The Octa Research Group distanced itself from one of its members who initially said the vaccine is ineffective against the South Africa variant.
Basically, South Africa decided to abandon the AstraZeneca vaccine because it was no different than injecting water into the patient.
We understand where he's coming from, that he based it on the evidence that he found. I would like to reiterate that this was not actually the position of the entire Octa group. So we actually don't agree with it, that it is sayang lang, and or that it is ineffective.
Dr. Salante notes, with the limited number of South Africa variant COVID cases in the country, it cannot be considered a variant of concern yet. The FDA and the National Task Force Against COVID-19 meanwhile assured the public vaccine manufacturers continue to develop their COVID jabs to ensure protection against new variants.
Like many others, housewife Nanette Cortez is struggling to fit the needs of her child and grandnieces and nephews within her budget.
Sana nga po, i-freeze nila, babasa na nila hanggat maaari. Kasi kawawa naman nga yung mga tao, katulad niya sa mga baboy, sa gulay. Yung gulay lalo pang tumataas, hindi bumababa. po, lalo na sa mga isda. Ano pa bibili ng mga tao? Paano pa gagawin ng ibang mga tao?
President Rodrigo Duterte's 2-month price cap on pork and chicken meat took effect on February 8th in the National Capital Region. It slowed meat inflation in Metro Manila a bit, but meat prices nationwide still rose. Fish and rice inflation also ticked up for the period, which is extra painful for the poor. Higher food inflation pushed overall inflation to a 26-month high last month. It was also the second month inflation was above the preferred range of the Philippine Monetary Board of 2 to 4%. The Philippines has the highest inflation amongst major ASEAN nations by far, based on data available as of March 5th. National statistician Undersecretary Dennis Mapa says they cannot say yet whether the decision to enact a 2-month price cap on meat was an effective solution.
At this point, I cannot say. What we're seeing is that because we're looking at the data, the facts from the February round is stating that prices of pork in Metro Manila went down, but prices of pork in areas outside Metro Manila went up.
Meanwhile, data from the Department of Agriculture show pork prices in Metro Manila have actually gone up this week in spite of the price cap. But House Deputy Minority Leader Carlos Zarate says price caps are needed, and he recommends more on other products, including fish, as well as protectionist policy to control higher fuel costs with world oil prices again on the rise. Economist Dan Roses, however, says inflation has nowhere to go but up in the near term.
We're coming from a very low base from last year. Any and all uptick in terms of the index at this point in time will only print upwards. So yeah, likely that's going to be around May, around 5% thereabouts.
Philippine Central Bank Governor Benjamin Diokno says the upward pressures on inflation, particularly on food items, are temporary and should go away as the national government works to improve supply. He stressed, at this point, elevated inflation does not require a monetary response. The central bank's next rate-setting meeting is on March 25th.
ViaTimes, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. ViaTimes for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. ViaTime has very interesting columnists. You name it, ViaTimes has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call ViaTimes at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. And welcome to Veronica's segment of this show. Today we have here as our guest a very exciting personality. Her name is Kathleen Stark, and she is the executive director of the Chicago-based Ladder App. We will know a lot of things about Ladder App today. Look at her beautiful shirt. That's it, Ladder App. Okay, Kathleen, welcome to our show. Maybe you can explain to our viewing audience about the Ladder App. I thought Ladder App, you were going to be talking about ladders.
That's great. Thanks so much, Veronica, for having me on today. You know, Ladder Up is a free financial services organization, a non-for-profit that offers services and tools to individuals to help them make their way up the economic ladder. We offer free tax preparation services right now during the tax season. But in addition, we have a tax clinic that offers legal services for those individuals that might have a tax controversy with the IRS or the State Revenue Department. And again, those services are free. We also have a financial education group, which we call Financial Capabilities, that offers financial education courses to help individuals work on their credit scores, learn about banking, finances. And in addition, we have an education piece of that where we offer services to help individuals with their FAFSA for post-secondary education. And again, all our services are free and eligible to individuals. We right now, for our tax preparation services, we offer those free services for individuals who make less than $32,000 a year, or families who make less than $57,000 a year.
Okay, Kathleen, is this only for the Chicagoans or the whole residents of Illinois?
So we are Chicago-based, but we do offer services currently right now in Springfield, Illinois, as well as we offer services in the Chicagoland area, and not just necessarily Chicago. We have in the past been out in various suburbs, north, south, east, and west, or north, south, and west, I should say, not necessarily east, as that would be in the lake. But we do make sure that we reach everyone possible. This year, given COVID, it makes it a little bit more challenging. We had a lot of previous tech sites that weren't allowing us to be able to offer services at those locations this year. So we have made sure that we have we've changed our model to be a drop-off model. We also are doing it on appointment basis only, so that individuals can make sure that they have a time to come in to a safe environment and drop off their tax returns to get the assistance they need.
How old is this organization?
That's right. We're in our 26th year. We started in 1994. So yeah, 26 tax seasons we've done.
Really? So how has the pandemic affected your organization? Are you doing all right this time, or really you were affected by the pandemic?
So for us, the biggest impact of the pandemic is having the accessibility to our clients. So we had previously in past years, and hopefully going forward, have been at libraries and some of the WIC sites. Those individual organizations are not opening up to external services at the moment. So we are restricted as far as where we are able to offer our services. But what we are doing is like I mentioned, we're going to change our model. And we're having a way that we're able to service as many individuals as possible on an appointment basis. So individuals in the past would come to a tax site pretty early. Let's say if we open at 9 a.m., they'd be there a couple hours early. It was first come, first serve. If they filled up, they wouldn't be able to get their services. They'd have to come back another time. This year, we're doing it appointment based. So individuals call or go to our website, which is goladderup.org. and schedule an appointment to be able to come in. They're guaranteed that time, have their meet with a tax professional, drop off their forms. We are then preparing the tax return remotely, so that we're not having individuals wait long periods of time in our site. We're able to get more individuals in and out as fast as possible. And then the client or the taxpayer has the option to either come back for a 15-20 minute exit interview where they in person get to review their 1040 and signed the pages that need to be signed for submission for us to e-file, or they have the opportunity to do a virtual meeting where they don't need to come back, and we do everything via screen sharing and are able to have them sign the forms electronically and submit on their behalf. So we have a couple of options that we're hoping help us to be able to serve a number of clients given the COVID restrictions that we have.
How many staff or volunteers help your clients?
That's a great question. So in the past, we're an organization that, and we still are, that rely heavily on our volunteers, and we would range from 800 to 900 volunteers a year. This year, because of the pandemic, we are around 250 individuals, which the majority of those, are on our virtual side. So we are in need of volunteers currently to help us with the in-person process of where, meeting with the tax client and going through the intake forms. It's a great opportunity for individuals to volunteer. There's nothing like seeing a look on somebody's face when they realize that they're going to get, money back that they may not have counted on, or that they, may be counting on. For some of these individuals, this is their largest paycheck of the year. And it can range, refunds can range from, nothing to thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's important for us to be able to provide those services. So if anybody is interested in volunteering, we can always use volunteers. And again, they can go to our website, goladderup.org.
So how many, are you able to retain your clientele?
That's a great question. Yeah, so it's interesting. I was actually preparing, helping assist a client the other day, and they had brought with them, like the past 5 years, all their envelopes that they had received from Ladder Up with all their forms in there. So there are many repeat clients. We make sure that we send out a mailer every year to those clients that have visited us in the past, not only to let them know of our services that are available, but also to get the word out so they can share it with other people to be able to get the free services that they deserve.
Free services. Oh, free services, how does your organization survive?
That's a great question. So we are funded through many, many grants, as well as we have individual donors and corporate sponsors, which is fantastic for us. But for sure, I want to say that, Mayor Lightfoot in the city is very much behind our free tax prep program that we offer. They do provide a significant amount of our funding, as well as does the state of Illinois and Cook County. So we rely on government funding to assist us to be able to provide these services, with the goal of being able to serve more clients and return more dollars to those communities each and every year.
I see. Okay. So everything, when they file, everything is electronics, right? These days, you do it electronically.
Yeah, we can e-file on their behalf. There are some tax returns that need to be paper filed, and if that's the case, we print it out for the individual in full, and we'll and help them mail it in so they don't miss the deadline. But we do e-file on everybody's behalf as long as they sign us off to let us do that.
So this is just available. This kind of service is available only for families or individuals who just make so much. Just like how much is it?
Yeah, so individuals that make around $32,000 a year, and families that make no more than $57,000 a year.
So the underserved or the low-income people.
Yes.
Very good. Where is your office located?
So our main tax site is currently at our Ladder Up office, which is at 350 North Orleans. But right now we're also in the Pullman neighborhood at Olive Harvey and the Uptown neighborhood at Truman College, as well as Springfield, Illinois, for those that are in Springfield.
All right, terrific. How many employees do you have, or volunteers?
So volunteers right now, we have around 250, but we could use 100 more. So anybody can volunteer. But our office is run with about 14, 15 staff. So we enjoy what we do and love helping the people that we can.
But this is some kind of a seasonal kind of a service, right? During the tax season only. So what does the organization do in the meantime when it's not tax season?
That's a great question, Veronica. So first of all, I want to say is the tax season for us never really ends. You can file taxes. We do amended taxes. We'll do past years in the off season, but our heaviest time for sure is end of January through April 15th. And I do want to say, as of right now, the tax deadline is still April 15th. It hasn't been extended. But in the off season, if you want to say off season, we focus a lot on financial education and utilizing the services of our tax clinic. For us, our number one goal is to help individuals, climb up that economic ladder. We learn a lot during visiting with those clients when they come in for tax prep, what services they need, where they're struggling, how they, some of them don't have bank accounts. We offer, let them know that we have financial education courses to assist them with that. So that's where we spend a lot of our time in the non-tax prep season, trying to help individuals in other ways, move up that economic ladder. In addition, we do a lot of planning for the next year. This year was a tough year. It took a lot of teamwork, a lot of, outside consulting, trying to figure out how to best serve these clients in this COVID environment. And I've been really lucky based on, initial results that we have of who we've been able to serve, and having some discussions with both the IRS and the FDIC. They're referring to Ladder Up this year as a model program of something that's been different and is working and still serving clients. So we're really excited about that. But, we spend a lot of time in the off season, I guess, to try to figure out how to best reach more individuals and service, provide services to those people.
Do you also teach?
So do I personally? No, I don't run any of the classes, but we do offer classes. And a lot of times it's interesting. Those classes can be run by volunteers. We do have a lot of higher level executive professionals who enjoy, talking to people and teaching them about the basics of banking or, financial statements, things like that. So it's really great. And we also offer, one-on-one coaching. We'll have individuals who really need, some guidance and want that, budget setting process and want those check-ins and things. So we even offer one-on-one coaching.
One-on-one. So just go to you, or to the website, or just go on.
Yeah, the website is the best way to gather all the information we have about all the services. There's a lot of links there, phone numbers and things for them to contact us. But also, they can reach out to our general number, which is, and I can give you that, is 312-466-0771. And that's our main line, and they can get in touch with a lot of the individuals in our organization who run the different programs.
Great, terrific. Oh my God, we really have a lot of information from the Ladder Up today. And Kathleen, I really enjoyed interviewing you because I've never heard of Ladder Up before. And okay, how do you market this organization?
So there's a couple different avenues that we use for marketing. We're trying to get on social media more and more, but we really utilize the mayor's office and through the aldermen. They're one of our big communication resources. We are for the state of Illinois. We were part of the Medicaid mailer that went out to 1.6 million people that mentioned our services. We do CTA ads. To try to make sure that people have exposure to us, as well as like I mentioned earlier, we send out letters, postcards, reminders to all our past clients, letting them know that our services are available and where and when.
All right, very good. So we can really help some people who might need your services, the Ladder Up services, and just go online, right? Ladderup.com.
It's goladderup.org.
Oh, .org. How is that again?
So it's go ladder LADDERUP.org. Yep, goladderup.org.
All right, very good. Kathleen, thank you so much for gracing our show today. You wanna say one important word to our viewers? You can go ahead before we sign off.
Yeah, thanks, Veronica. I just want to say, like I said, we offer free services. We know that people are spending hundreds of dollars to get, their tax prepared through other companies and services. We are a free service. We have, certified individuals preparing and helping assist with the taxes. And we want to make sure people who need those free services utilize it and don't spend money they don't need to spend. So please reach out. Again, it's goladderup.org to contact us.
Hey, terrific. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you today, and you have a good day, Kathleen. And next time, maybe in the future, in the coming months, even if it's not tax season, you can give us a call to give your organization some promotion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Most people from a developing country grab the opportunity and the chance, and they do their best as they can to move to United States of America. Our guest did the reverse. She was born and raised in America and moved to the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this week is an international speaker, a CEO and the founding director of Global Impact, a justice advocate, a minister, and also an empowerment coach. We are so proud to have our special guest for our Valentine episode, Amy Moranco Gehan. I introduce you as an empowerment coach. Can you give us more details on that?
I would love to, because it's kind of a newer focus but it's come out of many years of ministry and development. And as I said before, my theme, and again, a calling, is to help people empower their potential, bring them freedom and empower potential. So for many, many years, I've done something called Freedom Prayer Ministry, which is just like one-on-one prayer and discussion with somebody to work through, let's say, a pain in their heart, an issue that they can't quite, they're struggling with and they haven't been able to get victory. So God's given me some real kind of tools and skills there, to the point that I've trained church leadership teams in different countries on what I would call freedom prayer ministry. Okay, so that's very much like through a prayer focus, a spiritual focus. But in the last 2 years, I started also being coached myself and learning life coaching skills. And it's transformative. And so what I've done is actually combined the two. And to me, it's a very unique combination, because it's not just about just how we think. I mean, how we think is so important. It all comes down to it. And the Bible even says that we need to renew our minds and be transformed by renewal. But when we can understand some life coaching principles, but also use the power of God for the transformation, wow, it's like dynamite, And so in this last year, in 2020, I launched empowerment coaching programs, and I can only take a few clients, because it takes, it's like, usually it's like 1 hour a week. We do 10 session packages, and it's like this Zoom call, but it's like we're talking through something, and we're advancing something in some area of a person's life through what I term empowerment coaching. And the newest is that I want to be able to reach more people with the principles. So I've put together, because I'm only limited how much one-on-one time I can spend with people, but if I can put a course together and put it online, and it's self-paced, then I can reach more people and get the principles to more people. So we've just launched, as you know, because you're a part of it, right?
Yeah, I registered myself. Okay, go ahead.
So we have a new course that's called Relationship with Self. And it's all online, so that it's self-paced. No, we have a recommended pace that you do it. Like, we recommend a person does it over a month and one topic per week. However, it can be done slower, much slower or faster, or whatever's good for somebody's time. It's fine. It's all online. So you log on, you have the videos, you have a downloadable handbook. And then what we also will do is offer once a week live group coaching calls. So if somebody wants to get on the call and watch other people be coached, or be coached themselves, or answer questions, and we'll have that live interaction. And it's called Relationship with Self. And the idea with this is that there's 3 main relationships that we have, even according to scriptures. The scripture says, love God, with all of your heart, soul, and mind. Then it says, love others, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So it's kind of hard to love other people when you're hating yourself, or when you're not feeling good, or you're depressed, or you're down. We don't give as much. And the Bible gives us a real key there, that having healthy relationships with others actually is impacted by how we relate to ourselves. But I must say that most of us don't think about that. We think about our relationship with God, we think about our relationship with others, but we don't really usually analyze, how do I relate to myself? And what I mean by that is, a relationship is made up of what we think and what we feel. So what am I thinking? What am I feeling about myself? And Janette, it's like they say out there, and I believe it, there's anywhere from like 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts that we have on a daily basis. That's a lot of thoughts. right? But most of those are just habit thoughts. They're subconscious. We don't even register them because we're all programmed. We had our programming as we grew up, and we started to learn how to relate to life, how to think about things, how to relate to ourselves. And there's so many thoughts that we have going on inside of us that actually do not empower us. They disempower us. They draw energy, but we're so used to thinking them, we don't even know we think them.
Yeah.
And so this course is helping us be self-aware, help us to do some analyzing, be an observer of ourselves, and then eventually how to transform it. And I'm excited to see how it's going to help. It's going to help people. And this is the first one. We plan to do a series of online courses, but we've just launched this first one.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, Amy, I am excited to start that course because I signed up, I registered myself. I learned so much about the course from you tonight.
Good.
Yeah,
okay.
so good. So I am calling you a justice advocate because you are aggressive in fighting human trafficking. Question is, what have you done and what is Freedom Campaign?
Okay, great. Freedom Campaign is our anti-human trafficking campaign. So for the viewers who might not know, we have more people in slavery and exploitation than any time ever in history, which is kind of shocking, but it's the truth. It's the statistic, I think the latest statistic is over 40 million people that are living in some form of slavery. So the modern term for slavery is human trafficking. So there's different types of trafficking. There's sex trafficking, there's labor trafficking, drug trafficking, there's online sexual exploitation of children. There's many things that fit under the scope of this. And so I first learned about the human trafficking issue, maybe it's 10 years ago now. I read a book by a lady that lived in Cambodia, and she was sold into sex slavery as a teenager. And at the time I was absolutely shocked because I didn't even know that anything like that existed. It just so gripped my heart that I can't believe this is happening in my generation. And so from reading that book and understanding that it wasn't just her, but this was a worldwide issue, as I studied it, I knew that I wanted to be a part of the solution. There's no way I could ever tackle the whole problem, but maybe I can do a part. Maybe I could help one or two or, a community of people. And if I do my part, then at least somebody's being helped. So several years later after that, we launched here in the Philippines, it's called Freedom Philippines Campaign. And like I said, specific on tackling the human trafficking issue. And it's a worldwide issue. Every country is plagued by it in some way, but here in the Philippines, we actually have a lot happening. So many people are exploited for labor. I said before, there's a good component of people going overseas and working, but the underbelly of that is that there are some people that are exploited and they're tricked and they're deceived. And let's say, for example, they're hungry and they need to feed their family. So they go through backdoor channels to go to Malaysia to work. But when they get there, their passport is taken and they're forced into prostitution. Very real stories.
Yeah.
Another big issue here in the Philippines is the online sexual exploitation of children, which is one of my main focuses right now. And we work with the Interagency Council Against Trafficking, which is the government agencies here, plus a few other NGOs that work to fight that, all trafficking issues. But our big one that right now we're concerned about is where our children might, young ones or even teenagers, basically sold online for some type of sexual act, and that's online sexual exploitation of children, OSEC. And again, unfortunately, Philippines is number one in the world for that. Yes. So we have a big issue here, and we feel like it's gotten worse because of the pandemic. We have very strict lockdowns here in the Philippines, actually, and children right now are not even, they don't go to school. They're in their homes. They're literally locked down in their homes.
Yeah.
And so if they're in a home that's abusive or exploitive in any way, now less of authorities or even have a chance of finding out about it. Yeah. So we're working collectively, with the police and with different, the agencies here to work on that issue. We as Global Impact, our main focus is the advocacy and awareness, right? So we do a lot of programs. If it wasn't COVID, we'd be in communities, doing children's camps, being with the tribes, being with business people in the universities. Over 2020, we've had to shift to media stuff, which is okay. And hopefully in 2021, we can start to do a lot more with people, face to face, but we're also going to do more media. So we want to bring awareness for two purposes. The awareness brings hopefully prevention, so people aren't deceived. Most human trafficking is deception based. So if they have education, hopefully they won't be deceived. But second of all, if someone's being victimized or a child is being victimized, and then we do it in advocacy and we say, hey, this is actually against the law. This is horrible. There's an idea here that if it's no touch, no harm. So in other words, if it's online, it's not actually harming the child. Well, that's not true. We know psychologically in so many ways. And usually they are being touched by somebody, here, but for the online show, which is, it's horrible. And so if through advocacy and awareness, we hope that somebody will report it and children can be saved from this.
And I salute you, Amy, for doing that. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of talking for prevention and for awareness. And in fact, last year when I visited the Philippines, we went to a welfare organization in the Philippines. We were trained. It was a vacation, but at the same time I was working. I am also an advocate against human trafficking, and I was interviewed by your TV show for human trafficking.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon. This is Brigitte, Carino, Cueter, bringing you this week's local news from our community. Texas, on Tuesday, became the biggest state to lift its mask rule, joining a rapidly growing movement by governors and other leaders across the U.S. to loosen their COVID-19 restrictions, despite pleas from health officials not to let their guard down yet. The Lone Star State will also do away with limits on the number of diners who can be served indoors, said Republican Governor Greg Abbott, who made the announcement at a restaurant in Lubbock. The governors of Michigan, Mississippi, and Louisiana likewise eased up on bars, restaurants, and other businesses Tuesday, as did the mayor of San Francisco. Removing statewide mandates does not end personal responsibility, said Abbott, speaking from a crowded dining room where many of those surrounding him were not wearing masks. It's just that now state mandates are no longer needed. The first annual report issued by the Illinois Commerce Commission's Office of Diversity and Community Affairs finds that diverse spending by the state's largest investor-owned utilities has steadily grown from an average of 15% to nearly 33% of all procurement spending over the past 5 years, a collective increase in annual diverse spending of over $2 billion. At the end of calendar year 2019, diversity spending among the Big Five averaged 40% of their total procurement dollars. The report, which is available on the ICC website, provides a summary and analysis of data from 5 years of reports submitted by the 5 public utilities with the largest number of customers in Illinois. The Big Five utilities in Illinois include Ameren, Illinois, Commonwealth Edison, ComEd, Illinois American Water, North Illinois Gas Company, Nicor Gas Company, Peoples Gas Light and Coke Company / North Shore Gas Company, collectively Peoples Gas / North Shore. The Department of Commerce's Bureau of Industry and Security, BIS, is adding 14 entities located in Russia, Germany, and Switzerland to the entity list based on their proliferation activities in support of Russia's weapons of mass destruction programs and chemical weapons activities. This action supplements the addition of 5 Russian government facilities to the entity list in August 2020 for supporting Russia's chemical and biological weapons programs. The entity list is a tool utilized by BIS to restrict the export, re-export, and in-country transfer of items subject to the Export Administration Regulations, EAR, to persons, individuals, organizations, companies, reasonably believed to be involved or to pose a significant risk of becoming involved in activities contrary to the national security or foreign policy interests of the United States. Additional license requirements apply to exports, re-exports, and in-country transfers of items subject to the EAR to listed entities, and the availability of most license exceptions is limited. Low to moderate income families and older Illinoisans needing assistance filing their 2020 individual income taxes can receive free help through several trusted programs across the state of Illinois. The Internal Revenue Service, IRS, and the AARP tax aid programs are providing free basic income tax return preparation with electronic filing to qualified individuals in select locations statewide. How taxpayer assistance is provided and when services are available varies by region, based upon several variables including COVID-19 conditions and volunteer capacity. Taxes are due on April 15th this year. If a qualified taxpayer needs help filing out their tax return, free assistance is available, said David Harris, director of the Illinois Department of Revenue. While in-person assistance is more limited due to the COVID-19 pandemic, certified volunteers are still available to help people over the age of 50 years and working-class taxpayers file their state and federal returns accurately and on time while ensuring the health and safety of taxpayers and volunteers. The Illinois Department of Central Management Service, CMS, and the Department of Innovation and Technology announced the recent rollout of the state of Illinois' new human capital management system designed to streamline the application and hiring process. The new system, SAP Success Factors Recruiting Module, will enable agencies to hire applicants faster and features an enhanced user experience to keep applicants better informed throughout the process. CMS is committed to making the state of Illinois the top recruiter in Illinois, said CMS Director Janelle L. Ford. We're building more efficient and user-friendly processes to replace archaic systems so that we can ensure a fully transparent process for prospective applicants. This system will also help us fill vacancies much faster and reduce the risk of potential gaps in service to Illinois residents. The state's former hiring processes were 99% paper-based and labor-intensive, both on applicants and hiring agencies. In an effort to increase efficiency, accountability, and transparency in the hiring process, CMS engaged internal experts to map hiring processes and train staff on the new processes ahead of the rollout to ensure a smooth transition. Findings from two national surveys appearing in the Alzheimer's Association 2021 Alzheimer's Disease Facts and Figures report, just released, reveal that discrimination is a barrier to Alzheimer's and dementia care. Nearly 2/3 of Black Americans, 62%, believe that medical research is biased against people of color, and only half of Black Americans, 53%, trust a future cure for Alzheimer's will be shared equally regardless of race, color, or ethnicity. The 2021 Facts and Figures report also examines the devastating impact on the COVID-19 pandemic that's having on people living with Alzheimer's. According to a report, there were at least 42,000 more deaths from Alzheimer's and other dementias in 2020 compared with averages over the previous 5 years, a 16% increase. In Illinois, there were 1,740 more deaths from Alzheimer's and dementia in 2020 than compared to averages over the past 5 years, a 17.3% increase. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Brigitte. See you next time.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is Melody Dizon, your Health Matters host, and today I'm bringing you out of the world, out of our house. And currently we're at Woodfield Mall, and I happen to grab some few kids, I shouldn't say kids, but teenagers, and I'm just gonna ask them their view on how they're gonna be spending the spring break that's coming up. So I'll be calling them. Watch out. Dude. All right, guys, I'm introducing the guests we have today. We have Maddie, we have Rick, we have Ashley, and we have Ben. So these are 17-year-olds, 16 or 18 going there. We are in the mall, but my question to them is, how do you think you're going to be spending the spring break with the pandemic way? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm probably going to stay at home, play some video games. Basically the same way I spent the rest of the year. But
wow.
I know that some people are going to be going to Puerto Rico without me. But
wow.
That's about it.
Some people are. Okay. Well, how about you, Maddie?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. I feel like I'll just be working, staying home as well. But working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Still like going out, but like not as much.
Not as much, right?
Not as much.
Yeah. How about you, Ben?
I'm some people, so I'm going to be in Puerto Rico, but we have to do corona tests before, quarantine before, and then afterwards too.
Oh boy. How about you, Ashley?
I'm going to the Virgin Islands.
Wow.
But they require tests, so it's fine.
So, okay. So, do you think, guys, a vaccine is going to help us eradicate this pandemic? What are your thoughts on the vaccine?
I feel like it might, but not right away. I heard that the CDC was going to... They sent out this little thing about how the apocalypse might happen, like the zombie apocalypse. I'm not sure if it's real, but if the CDC is saying something like that, I feel like we should pay attention to this.
I don't know, I feel like it takes years for a vaccine to come up, so I don't know if it's working or not. In my opinion, it'll still be the same.
Yeah.
Either way, we can't get it either way until it's like perfected up until the point that like for us to be tested. So I mean,
you'll just wait for everyone to die first.
I mean, with time, see the effects of it. See like to understand all the side effects before anything.
I think so, just because like people won't spread it if they have the vaccine, and that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, because you know the smallpox, the polio, all those stuff from before, the viruses, it didn't just decide to say, you know, I'm not gonna come out this year. It was because it was killed by the vaccine, so we don't have those now. So going forward, I think that's also gonna happen. You guys know you can't get the vaccine yet, right? Yeah. You have to be above. It hasn't been studied, they said, so you are exempted from the population, I think.
Technically, some people who work like in hospitals and like whatever, they qualify as essential workers. So like if you work in a certain place, you can, even though you're on your...
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you just have to wear extra precautions because it hasn't been cleared by the FDA, even if you're like 17. It's just more dangerous, I think. So in other words, not dangerous, I should say it hasn't been studied yet. So the possibility of complications are there. So let's see. Any of you, are you guys back in school? Are you on the, are you hybrid or are you at home?
I'm at home. Online.
Home?
Yeah, I'm at home too.
All at home.
All at home. So is home much better? I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's a...
I think it's harder to like learn, but...
It's worse than original normal school, better than hybrid.
Yeah.
And
it's just hard to focus because
Yeah.
there's so much stuff going on in my house that makes me lose focus of whatever I'm doing, like my dog and just not wanting to do stuff. But other than that, I'd rather be in school but where it's safe.
Right.
And at home if it's dangerous, you know?
That's right. So we're almost done, guys. So I just wanted to ask, what can you tell the viewers as to how, in their own way, can help minimize the spread of the virus?
home.
Yeah,
Don't have birthday parties.
Yeah.
Wear a mask.
Don't travel.
Wear a mask. Too many people go places without masks.
Yeah, you guys see the whole thing with Texas?
Oh my God, no, that's not.
Don't
Yeah.
visit Texas.
Wear masks.
Don't visit Texas, that's right.
Visit Texas.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, guys. Can you say thank you to Chicago Philippine Reports TV for the opportunity?
Thank you.
Okay, bye now. Take care.
Hi, I'm Maria Pappas, Cook County Treasurer. Property taxes are due March 2nd, but there's no late fee through May 3rd. Go to cookcountytreasurer.com, put in your street address to pay online, search for $76 million in double payments and $46 million in missing exemptions. See if your property is on the tax sale delinquency list. Put in your address at cookcountytreasurer.com.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the most awaited portion of the show, the happy birthday to the following people: Eloy Regala, Papa Pilferdick, Nilo Villacorte, Josie Reyes, Lynn Adpasa-Viola, Malu Sigala Toller, Meryl Hazel Garcia, and our columnist celebrating the birthday today, Vic Perez. Happy birthday, Vic. And also, happy anniversary to the lovely couple, Mar and Baby Salas. Hi, baby. Hi, Mar. Congratulations. And don't forget to pick up the copy of your favorite ViaTimes magazine February issue at your favorite stores. Again, this is John Mauricio, wishing everybody a good month of February. Adios and mabuhay ang Pilipinas.